Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Reddy. Good afternoon, Deepak. How is everyone? Let me see who wished before that. Good afternoon, Chatur. Good afternoon, Sanvi. Vahini, good afternoon. I hope all of you are good, safe, and healthy. And good afternoon, Santosh. Vahini, good afternoon. Uh, very fine. Good, Chatur. I'm good. I'm great. You can see I am looking fresh. I was traveling. I was not well, so I could not shave last day, and so today I was feeling a lot better. So I'm fit and fine as always. Before starting our class, let us go back to that thing that I always tell you before the class. Keep your videos off. And Reddy, I think you sent me a message on that ID. Please don't send message on that ID. I can't see that. There is one more ID that I log in. Yes, good afternoon, Ajit. There's one more ID that I log in. That is simply Aztec. It's muted. It does not share its video. Send you a chat on that. So we should be able to interact on that. Coming more onto that chat thing, I would like more and more of you to participate and let me know your thoughts. The entire purpose is to make this class more effective and more fascinating than even an offline class. I want more participation. Hi Tinku, how are you? And see, you can understand there are constraints on online class, there are constraints on offline class as well. In an offline class, good afternoon, Yarika. In an offline class, you cannot all of you cannot speak at the same time. But in an online class, all of you can write at the same time, and I can see your doubts and I can clear them. There's a very faint chance that I miss your doubts. It's right in front of me, the screen. So it's a very faint chance that I miss your doubt. If so, just send it again and I'll come back to you. Having said that, let us start with today's class. It's already time, and as I told you, be on time. It's a good habit to be on time. So if I remember correctly, in the last class, we were discussing about, yes, Chaturya, quadratic. See, I have a short-term memory loss thing. Quadratic equation and binomial theorem. So basically, we were discussing quadratic equation and we saw simple quadratic equations and their solution. And we just discussed one particular formula for solving any equation. Can anyone tell me what was that? To get the two roots of a quadratic equation, what was the formula that we discussed in the last class? Anyone can help me on that? Quadratic formula, okay, it might be difficult for you to write it, so I'll just write it. X is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. This was the formula that we discussed, and we did some simple questions. Yes, Santosh, you have done a great job of writing. Chatur, very good. I'm very impressed that you can even write this difficult formula on the laptop or computer or whatever you are working on. That's great that you remember this. So that was the equation that we discussed on quadratic equation. There was one more fascinating thing that we did in the last class, and that was to discuss binomial. And this binomial, it might not be very useful at this stage. It might not be very useful at this stage, but in the coming classes, after a while, especially in optics, you will be requiring this binomial theorem a lot in optics and electrostatics. 11th standard also some topics you will, in gravitation you will be requiring this binomial equation. And we had seen a very simple case where we had seen that if the value of x is very less compared to 1, then I can write what I can write. Yes, 1 plus n raised to the power x. Chaturya, I think you are confused. You're confused. Simple mistake. 1 plus x raised to the power n can be written as 1 plus nx. Do we all recollect this? 1 plus x raised to the power n can be written as 1 plus nx. Yes, we had seen some different variations of the same thing. 1 minus x raised to the power n, 1 minus x raised to the power minus n, and so on. We'd also seen where we are going to use it. We had seen its use in finding out approximate values of some sort of calculation. And we also did a very great example of finding out the value of G at any height h above the surface of Earth. Remember that formula? That formula is going to come in the chapter of gravitation. Yes, Santosh, 1 minus x raised to the power of n is 1 minus xn. I think we are good with this. We only need this much of binomial equation. I'll not go into the various types. It's not required. Need to know basis. I always insist. I'll only teach you what is required. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's begin today's class. And as I promised, we will be starting with trigonometry. Again, you must understand that trigonometry is a vast topic. Vast. During my times, I started trigonometry by a book called S.L. Loney. Have you heard about this book? S.L. Loney? A very famous book. S.L. Loney Trigonometry, S.L. Loney Coordinate Geometry. That is the book I referred when I was of your age in the year 1994. That was the book I started trigonometry with. Entire book based on trigonometry. You may not know this, doesn't matter. But obviously, we are not going to study the entire book. No. We'll just look at those parts. We'll just look at those parts which are useful to us in physics. And that is our entire, that's the only concern. Okay, so now let us start with trigonometry. Now, before starting on with trigonometry, let us go and revise and see something that we had already seen. And again, I'll try to use this shape, text, draw. Yes, there was shape over here. Let me try this. Okay, so let me try this. Oops, nothing, it didn't work. Okay, there's something wrong with this. Okay, this is no good, so I'll just erase it. I can't erase it even. I'll clear it. Clear. Okay, all drawings, everything will get clear. Okay, just take this off. I can't erase it. So let us see that what is this? This is a circle. Okay, this is a what? Circle. We all understand this? This is a circle. This circle has a radius. You all understand this? Radius R. I mark a point A, then I mark a point B. Okay, and then I also join B with this. This is also radius R. Now this AB is known as an arc of the circle. Do we remember this arc? AB is known as arc of the circle. Yes. Let me call the length of this arc as L. So the length of arc AB is L. Then we had seen that this arc makes an angle theta at the center O. What is this angle theta known as? Anyone? What is this angle theta known as? This angle theta is known as the plane angle. Do we remember this? This angle theta is known as the plane angle. Yes, and it is measured in a unit which is known as radian. Radian is the SI unit, and it is measured in radians. And we also found out that the value of this angle theta, it is a ratio of two lengths. Can you tell me what is the value of this angle theta? L by R. Yes, Tanu. L, which is the length of the arc, divided by R. So that becomes equal to my theta, which is my plane angle. We all agree on this part? This is measured in radians, not in degrees, beta. Remember, it is also always measured in radians. L by R will always give you the value of angle in radians and not degrees. We had also seen the conversion factor of radians to degrees. What was the conversion factor of radians to degrees? Can anyone tell me that? Yes, yes, Shri, that's correct. 180 degrees was equal to pi radians. 180 degrees was equal to pi radians. We had already seen that in previous class. What next? What is next in trigonometry? Now, first of all, we'll try to understand in physics, how are we going to use this angle theta? So I'll move on to the next slide. And here comes my next slide. and with next slide comes something like this. And I'm sure that most of you know what is this. You all understand what is this? This is the coordinate system, y and x. You all understand this? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, now this is known as the positive x-axis. This is known as positive y-axis. I'm sure you are aware of it. This one is known as negative x, which I've just drawn smaller one. And this is what is known as negative y. We all agree on this? Or we have a different concept about this coordinate system? We know this? Okay. Now in physics, in general maths, all angles, please mind my words, all angles, I'll write it also, all angles are measured, all angles are measured, that is the convention, all angles are measured from positive x-axis. All angles are measured from positive x-axis. Suppose there is a point here and I join it by a line, point A, and I measure this angle. So this angle should be measured from positive direction of x-axis. Are you getting my point, everyone? All angles are always measured from positive direction of x-axis. Okay, that's great. It was explained by another. That's great. Now, what I want to explain here, and probably if you know this, you must also know this. If the angle is anti-clockwise, ACW, if the angle is anti-clockwise, it is taken as what? If the angle is anti-clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. You understand anti-clockwise and clockwise? Yes, Chaturdaya. If the angle is anti-clockwise, it is taken as positive. Anti-clockwise is opposite to the direction of the clock. Anti-clockwise angles are taken as positive. If by chance this point was here, the blue one, and again, sir would have explained this, point B, and the angle would have been here, it has to be measured from positive direction of x-axis. In this case, if I call this as phi, and if I call the Uparwala as theta, this theta was negative, this theta was positive, but this phi has to be negative. That means clockwise angles are taken as negative. We all agree on this? Do we have any doubt on this? Okay, so we all agree on this. And it's good that you already know this. I must thank Master that he has cleared this. So positive angle and negative angles are cleared. That takes us to the next whiteboard. Can I move on? I hope you know this. I'll move on to the next one. Now, positive and negative angle we understand. Now let us look at this gentleman. And let me name this gentleman as A, B, and C. Forgive my lines are not exactly straight. They must be straight. What is this known as? Obviously, this is a triangle. What type of triangle is this? What type of triangle is this? Right angle triangle, Niharika says. Yes, it's a right angle triangle. So it is right angled at this point at vertex B. Now, if I call this angle as theta, in 9th and 10th standard, you might have called it angle A. There is nothing wrong in calling it angle A, but in 11th and 12th, instead of calling it angle A, we'll call it theta. If I call this angle as theta, what does your AB side become? Do you have any idea what is this AB side known as then? This AB side is known as the base. We understand this base? Base, adjacent, yes. I call it base. I don't know. Base looks good. Base denoted by B. Then this samne wala front side is also known as perpendicular. I hope you know this. Perpendicular, right? Perpendicular is denoted by P. And this gentleman AC is known as hypotenuse. We all understand this hypotenuse? Yes, I will represent it by H. Perpendicular, base, hypotenuse. And then we all know this famous theorem, which is known as the Pythagoras theorem. Can anyone enlighten me on this Pythagoras theorem? Anyone that who can tell me this Pythagoras theorem? I already have around 90 messages. Great. I hope I responded to all. Yeah, can anyone tell me about this Pythagoras theorem that you might be aware of? AC square is equal to AB square plus AC square. Okay. I wanted to avoid, yes, you are using the same logic. I wanted to avoid AC, AB, BC. So instead of calling AC, AB, BC, I'll just call it as hypotenuse square H square is equal to B square plus P square. In this way, I write less and I understand the main meaning that the hypotenuse square is always equal to base square plus perpendicular square. We all agree on this? The first thing that you must remember that the Pythagoras theorem is always valid for a right angle triangle. Now, the name of the heading today was trigonometry. It was not about right angle triangle. So now let us come on trigonometry. Now, where does trigonometry come? In this entire scenario, where does trigonometry come? Now, trigonometry comes in the fact that there are some ratios which are known by different names, and then that ratio we can call it trigonometric ratios. The first of these is known as, any idea what the first of this is known as? Sine of theta. Theta is the angle here, this one. Sine of theta, again it's a ratio. If it is a ratio, it has to be a number. It does not have unit, it does not have dimension. Sine theta, and how much is this sine theta? What is the value of this sine theta? We have said that this sine theta is P by H, yes, perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. I hope yeah, opposite of theta divided by hypotenuse. Just Santosh, you are correct. Very correct, no doubts about it. That is my sine theta. The second trigonometric ratio is known as cos of theta. And cos of theta is nothing but, yes, every one of you know it, base divided by hypotenuse. We all agree on this? I hope we do. Yes. Tan theta is the next one. And tan theta can be written in sine theta divided by cos theta. Or you can write it as perpendicular divided by base. Or you can write it as sine theta divided by cos theta. I hope you all are aware of this. Now we have something which is known as the inverse of this. So we have the first one which is known as cosec. Have you heard about cosec? Yes, it is the inverse of sine theta. So it is 1 by sine theta. And I can write it as hypotenuse divided by perpendicular. We might not be using much of cosec theta, but you must be knowing it just for your common knowledge. Then it is sec theta. And sec theta is the inverse of cos theta. So it becomes hypotenuse divided by base. Last but not the least, we have cot of theta. Cot of theta is 1 divided by tan theta. You can also write it as cos theta divided by sine theta. You can also write it as base divided by perpendicular. You all aware of this? Yes. Okay. Please let me know if you have got the notes in your app. The notes for basic maths, is it there in your app? Have you received it? Please let me know about it. Okay. So these are sine theta, cos theta, different values. Now, what will interest us more in physics is instead of writing it like this, sine theta is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, I will just do a small thing here. I will write perpendicular as h multiplied by sine theta. Can I write it like this? Yes, Vaini says yes. So I think it's nothing, but I've taken hypotenuse on the other side and I've just multiplied. So I write perpendicular as h sine theta, correct? So this samne wala side, opposite side, is equal to this hypotenuse multiplied by sine of theta. Will you remember this? This is what is going to interest me more in physics rather than sine theta ki value. Okay. Now, on similar lines, what you can say about cos theta? How can you write cos theta in a different way? How can you write it? Can anyone tell me how I'm going to write cos theta? So I'll write it like this: base is equal to h times of cos theta. So these two things are going to interest me more rather than the other one. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? Right. Now, there are some particular angles. There are some, please listen to me carefully. There are some particular angles whose values of sine, cos, and tan you must know. I hope you already know them. Do you know them? So I'll just show you a table. I can also make that table, but again, it will take some time. So I'll just save some time and get you the table. Can you see this table, everyone? Here are angles written: 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. I'm only concerned about these 5 angles right now. The value of sine of 0 or sine of theta for different angles. Sine of 0 is 0. Sine of 30 is half. Sine of 45 is 1 by root 2. Sine of 60 is root 3 by 2. Sine of 90 is 1. We all know this. Can I? Okay, I already have 170 messages. I hope I've replied to all. Yes, we know this. Great. Great, Vaini. Thanks for the feedback. So we know this. Okay, great. Then similarly on cos theta is reverse of sine theta. So cos of 0 is 1, cos of 30 is root 3 by 2, 1 by root 2, 1 by 2, and 0, and so on. I hope you are aware of this. I don't think there would be any doubt on this. You must also be aware of these values for tan theta. Tan of 90 is written as infinity. You can call it infinity, but it is better to call it as not defined. So if you don't know it, please, please, that's a request. From here to here, you must remember this table. From here to here, undefined. Yes, Deepak, undefined is a better word, not infinity. So from here to here, you must remember this table. And apart from these 5 angles, there are also 2 more angles that you must be aware about, which we'll be using in physics. Any idea what those 2 angles are? Sine of 37 degrees. Yes, not defined can be written as ND. Doesn't matter, but if you know Vaini, it doesn't matter how you write it. Sine of 37 degrees. Yes, Sriram, you have any doubt? Please ask. Please write it in the chat. Sine of 37 degrees is 3 by 5. Will you remember it? Sine of 37 degrees is 3 by 5. You must remember this value. Cos of 37 degrees is 4 by 5. Cos of 37 degrees is 4 by 5. Having known sine and cos of 37, can you tell me the value of tan of 37? What will be the value of tan of 37 degrees? Having already told you the value of, yes, it will be 3 by 4, Niharika. Thanks for the help. 3 by 4 will be tan of 37. Yes, Deepak, it is 3 by 4. Now, I've told you sine of 37. Now, if you know trigonometry a bit, which I understand that you have already known, can you tell me the value of, since you know the value of sine of 37, I'll repeat my question, you know the value of sine of 37, can you tell me the value of cos, oops, what happened? Can you tell me the value of cos of 53? Cos of 53 degrees. Having known the value of sine of 37, can you tell me the value of cos of 53? You must be knowing about complementary angles, right? Yes, and correct. It is 3 by 5. So cos of 53 is same as sine of 37. Some basic trigonometry, 9, 10 class trigonometry this is. I hope you are aware of it. If not, you can understand it. So cos of 53 is 3 by 5. What about sine of 53 then? Waiting for answers. I already have 200, more than 200 messages. Not even 15 minutes, 20 minutes have gone. Nani has entered the room. Welcome, Nani. Cos of 50, sine of 53, Santosh, it is 4 by 5. Very good. 4 by 5. That is the value of sine of 53. And now you can obviously tell me the value of tan of 53. No prizes for guessing this one. Tan of 53 will be equal to 4 by 3. So you must remember, apart from this 5, you must remember these two as well. Can you do that for me? As I told you, learning is a two-way street. If you help me out, I will be able to help you out. So please go through this. These are some information that you must remember and recollect. And then there are some important points. And since I hope that you know about this, the math sir has already covered it. I'll just go through it. The value of sine theta or cos theta always lies between -1 and +1. Do you know this? The value of sine theta and cos theta lies between -1 and +1. Yes, so this is one thing that you must remember. The value of sine, the maximum value is +1. The minimum value is -1. It has to lie between +1 and -1. What about tan and cot? What about tan and cot? For students of BIPC or NEET, they must also know this information. The value of sine and cos lies between -1 and +1, and value of tan and cot will lie between any value. So it can lie from -infinity to +infinity. It can lie from -infinity to +infinity. So it can be very, very less. It can be very, very high. We agree on this? Would you remember this point? The value of sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. Yes, these are all informations. You must remember this information. You must remember the information. Now, looking at point number 1, I've already given you some information on point number 2. What does point number 2 says? Value of sec theta and cosec theta cannot numerically be less than 1. So it cannot be less than 1 because it is the inverse of sine and cos. Can you remember this? Can you remember this? Okay, so just keep this information in your mind. It is necessary for all of you. Even if you are in BIPC, NEET batch, you must know this information. Okay, you must know this information. Apart from this information, you must be aware of first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Are you aware of this? First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Are you aware of this? Yes, great. So you are also aware of something known as, I'll just draw it here. So for those who don't know, I'll draw it here. These are the 4 quadrants. This is quadrant number 1. This is quadrant number 2. This is quadrant number 3. And this is quadrant number 4. Great. Now, once we have divided the entire structure into 4 quadrants, why we have done that and what are we going to do from here? What are we going to do from here? So here in the first quadrant, and first of all, let us write this quadrant in terms of degrees as well. If I write this as 0 degree, this one will become 90 degree. We all agree on this? If I have taken positive x-axis as 0 degree, positive y-axis become 90 degrees. Great. What about this one? This point will become 180 degrees. Minus x-axis will become 180 degrees. And minus y-axis will become 270 degrees. We all agree on this? Simple. It's very simple. Okay. So first quadrant lies between 0 degree to 90 degrees. We agree on this? The second quadrant lies between 90 to 180. The third quadrant lies from 180 to 270, and the fourth quadrant lies from 270 to 0. No. From 270 to 360. So this is the entire angle is 360. Yes, Jayashankar, that's correct. 0 and 360 come together. First quadrant from 0 to 90, all silver teacups. I was coming to that. I call it in a different way, add sugar to coffee. So we are coming to add sugar to coffee. Before coming on to add sugar to coffee, first let us see what is mean by what is the meaning of add sugar to coffee. Here all ratios are positive. All T ratios positive. T ratios means trigonometric ratios. So sine theta is positive, cos theta is positive, tan theta is positive. And since sine, cos, and tan all are positive, their inverse are also positive. So all T ratios are positive. So we take A from here. All trigonometric ratios are positive. What happens in the second quadrant? I understand that you know it. Sine and cosec are positive. Yes, Chaturdya. Sine and cosec are positive. I had taken A from here, then I take S from here. Okay. What about the third quadrant? Third quadrant. Tan and cot. Yes. Great. So we are coming. Tan and cot are positive. I take an A from here, S from here. What I'm going to take from here? T for tan. Chaturya has gone into the future and has told me what is going to happen in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, beta, cos theta, cos and sec theta are positive. So I take C from here, A from here, S from here, T from here, C from here. Now I can make a short form. I call it add sugar to coffee. Someone gave me a different one. I can't recollect that. So you can remember like this: add all sugar, add sugar S to coffee. That is how we can remember all silver teacups. So thanks, Siri. All silver teacups. All silver teacups. See, I'm from a very medium family, and I can't afford the silver. Even I can't afford coffee for that matter, but still coffee is more affordable than silver cup. So again, I'll go with all sugar, add sugar to coffee. Okay, that was the fun part of it. So I hope you understand this simple thing where what is positive, right? Okay. Now comes one more thing, and if you can do it, if you can remember it, that would be an added advantage. Let me try. If you can remember this thing, it would be a very nice thing. And instead of drawing the entire thing, which is going to take a lot of time, I'm using this table here. I think this table is already with you. So I'll be using this and in trying to make you understand what is happening here. What is happening here? We have got some different points, and that is going to tell us the values of different trigonometric ratios for different values. Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Do we know this? Sine of minus theta is minus of sine theta. Yes. Great. Cos of minus theta is cos of theta. It might be very easy for the maths guy to know this. It might be a bit difficult for the bio guys. Remember, if you just go through it once and twice, you will be able to understand what we are saying here. I'll also give you my trick of understanding it, my trick of learning it, my trick of whatever you call it. Sine of 90 minus theta is cos of theta. So basically, sine can be converted into cos. That is what I wanted to emphasize. Sine can be converted into cos, and cos can be converted into sine. So cos of 90 minus theta is sine theta. Similarly, tan can be converted into cot, and cosec can be converted into sec. But that is what I wanted you to remember. Sine can be converted into cos. Cos can be converted into sine. Tan can be converted into cot by inverse, and also by complementary angles, right? Now, how do you remember this? All these complicated things. Sine of 90 plus theta is cos theta. Sine of 180 minus theta is sine theta. It looks very, very complicated. Very, very complicated. The entire table. Very, very complicated it looks. And it will be a lot of burden to remember this entire table. Does anyone know a shortcut to remember this? Can anyone tell me? I already have more than 300 messages today. Great. Does anyone remember a shortcut way of remembering it? How we can remember this entire jargon without actually remembering all this? Anyone, any idea? I'm open to ideas. I got all silver teacups. That was new to me. That's brilliant from Siri. My add sugar to coffee is still better for me. But do you have any idea about how to remember this? I'll make an attempt to make you understand. I'll definitely attempt to make you understand this. If you can, very good. If you can't, work over it. Go through the lecture once, twice. I think the lecture will be uploaded in your app. Go to the lecture once, twice, and I'm sure you can get this trick. It's a simple common sense understanding. Here all are positive. Here only sine is positive. Here tan is positive. Here cos is positive. You must remember this. Now, when the angle you are talking about is odd multiples of 90, so it is 90 or it is 270. 90 or 270, what will happen? It is 90 or 270 or odd multiples of 90. You understand the meaning of odd multiples of 90? You understand the meaning of odd multiples of 90? First multiple is 90. The second is 270. The third one will be 450. This is 90 into 1, 90 into 3, 90 into 5, 90 into 7, 90 into 9, 90 into 11, and so on. Odd multiples of 90. Do you understand the meaning of odd multiples of 90? Odd multiples of 90, what will happen? Odd multiples of 90, what will happen? Sine, we'll just remember one. Sine will be converted into cos. Don't have to remember all, just remember one. For odd multiples of 90, sine will be converted into cos. That means what will cos be converted into? Cos will be converted into sine. Sine will be converted into cos. One thing to remember. That means cos will be converted to sine. Tan will be converted to cot. This is the one thing that you remember. Okay. Now, if it is in the first quadrant, sine has to be positive, cos has to be positive. If it is in the second quadrant, sine is positive, cos is negative, tan is negative. Now we apply everything together. And try to find out the values by using this sense. I will give you examples. Examples are the best way to understand something. So odd multiples, sine converted into cos. What about even multiples? Even multiples are 180, 360. These are even multiples of 90, 720, and so on, 540, 720. If it is even multiples, sine theta will be remaining sine theta, cos theta will be remaining cos theta. Odd multiples, they will convert. Even multiples, they remain same. Can you repeat? Odd multiples, they convert. Can I have some raised hand? Odd multiples, they convert. Even multiples, they remain same. Odd multiples, they convert. Even multiples, they remain same. We agree on this? So I can move on to the next one. Odd multiples, they convert. Even multiples, they remain same. Now look. Okay. Look very closely. It's very simple. It might sound confusing in the first stage. Have some patience. Take a deep breath and you'll understand. Sine of 90 minus theta. Now apply what we have seen. 90 is an odd multiple. Yes or no? 90 is an odd multiple. I already have 250 messages. Great. And 90 is an odd multiple. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So odd multiples, what happens? Sine will be converted into Cos. Cos. Sine gets converted into cos. Great. Great. Now, 90 minus theta. Look at the angle 90 minus theta. 90 minus theta. In which quadrant 90 minus theta lies? In which quadrant 90 minus theta lies? It lies in the first quadrant. It lies in the first quadrant. So all ratios are positive. All ratios are positive. So my answer for sine of 90 minus theta becomes cos theta, positive. Do we understand this? Once again, I'll do it. Sine of 90 minus theta, 90 is odd multiple. Sine gets converted into cos. Then we look at the quadrant. Quadrant is first quadrant. So in first quadrant, sine has to be positive. And therefore the answer is cos of theta. That means, I'll give you an example of this that will make you understand. For example, I had sine of 90 minus 30. What will be the value of sine of 90 minus 30? It will be equal to cos of 30. Very nice, very nice, very nice. And if you look at 90 minus 30, it is sine of 60. So you got a very wonderful result from a very simple concept. Are you with me, everyone, or I have lost everyone and you are wandering somewhere in the universe? Are you there with me? Raise hands. Have you understood what we are with you, so great. I'll take you to everywhere in the universe, but after the class, I'll take you to the universe, on a trip to the universe. Sine of 90 minus theta becomes cos of theta. Now, what I've done for sine, cos will be doing the same thing. So I will not do the cos thing. I'll just remain on sine. Now let us move on to the second one. Let me change the color of this pen. And now I move on to sine of 90 plus theta. I move on to sine of 90 plus theta. So again, how I find the value? So it is 90. So sine has to get converted into cos. It becomes cos of theta. But look at where 90 plus theta lies. In which quadrant? 90 plus theta lies? This gentleman, 90 plus theta should lie in the second quadrant. In second quadrant, look at sine. Is it positive or negative? Look at sine. Is it positive or negative? It is positive. So the answer will be plus of cos theta. Great. We are on the same platform. Great. We are on the same platform. Again, an example will make things more clear for us. Let us go on to an example. Sine of 90 plus 30. Sine of 90 plus 30. How much is this? Sine of 90 plus 30 is cos of 30. It's cos of 30 by the same logic that we have discussed over here. Now look at 90 plus 30. It is basically equal to sine of 120. Are we getting this entire scenario? Pakka? No one has any doubt? Just Niharika? Any doubts? Please raise. Please ask. I already have more than 300. Good. We must cross 400 today. Great. Pakka. Chalo. Whatever happens with sine, same thing happens with cos. Cos will be converted into sine. Shall I give an example of cos? Okay. So let us do one cos as well. So let us do the cos in the same thing. And let me take the back pen. Cos of. Now please be careful. Do not give your answer in a haste. What will happen to cos of 90 plus theta? What will happen to cos of 90 plus theta? I am waiting for answers. Cos of 90 plus theta. We already crossed 150, 300, 350, somewhere around 350. Cos of 90 plus theta. Oh, Santosh is not sin theta, is not sin theta. Minus sin theta, Sanvi. Yes, minus sin theta is the answer. Why minus sin? Why minus sin? Again, same logic. Let me change the pen. Same logic. It is cos of 90 odd multiple, odd multiple, odd multiple. So it must be sin theta. Odd multiple, so it gets converted into sine. Cos gets converted into sine. But now again look. Where does this angle lie? It is lying in the second quadrant. Second quadrant. What happens to cos? Is it positive or negative? Cos is negative. We remember this. Cos is negative. Therefore, we must apply a negative sign here. And we have our answer minus sine theta. Let us take an example and see whether we are correct or not. Let me give an example of cos of 90 plus 30. Cos of 90 plus 30, and the answer would be minus of sine 30, and the answer would be minus of sine 30. Are we getting this? Right. Now look at 90 plus 30. So cos of 120 must be equal to minus of sine of 30. You must know the value of sine of 30. Sine of 30 is half. Minus of that thing becomes minus half. Are you getting my point? How did I get the value of cos of? Yes, great. All of you are there with me, I hope. So that is how I convert cos. One more example. Let us move further. I'll just give you one example, and then I know that you are confident enough to solve the other ones. So let us now move on to sine, back to sine. Sine of 180 plus theta. Now apply common sense, apply logic, what you have read, what I have told you. Tell me the value of sine of 180 plus theta. Sanvi says minus sine theta. Yes, Sanvi, you are absolutely correct. It has to be, no, Reddy, it's not minus cos. It's minus sine theta. Again, let us use the logic. It is 180. It is, someone wrote son of theta. It's not sun, beta, it's sine. Okay, it's good to have some jokes in between. Where was I? Okay, 180 degrees. It's okay, beta. It's okay. I wasn't joking. It is odd it is even multiple of sine. My entire thing went away. It is an even multiple of sine. Sine of 180. So sine will remain sine. Sine remains sine. Sine remains sine. Now look at which quadrant this lies. 180 plus theta. It lies in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sine has to be negative. So we just put a negative sign and we are done. Just put a negative sign. We are done. Let us take an example. Let me again change the color of the pen. Okay. Sine of 180 plus 30. What is the value of sine of 180 plus sine of 180 plus 30? So it should be equal to minus sine of 30. So basically 180 plus 30 becomes 210. So sine of 210 becomes minus sine 30. Sine 30 is half. Put a minus. The value becomes minus half. We all agree on this. How we did it? Do you understand the logic behind it? I think this should be good enough. For you to understand this. Yes or no? Okay, I ask one question on this, and let us see who gives me the answer to this one. One question on this. Let us see who gives me the answer of this one. Sine of 270 minus theta. What is the answer for sine of 270 minus theta? Cos theta minus cos theta. Minus cos theta is the correct answer. Yes, Santosh, great, great, Vaini, great. Minus cos theta is the answer. We again look at the logic. 270, odd multiple of 90. So sine has to get converted into cos. So I convert sine into cos, cos theta. Now look at the quadrant. Look at the quadrant. Cos of 270 minus theta. It has to lie in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sine has to be negative. So this has to be negative. And that is my answer. Are we getting this? Are we getting this? Now, can you understand the entire table? I think that entire table must be with you in your notes. If the notes of basic maths are there in the app, this table would be there. This table would be there. Go through the table. And this table also has, after this table, we also have some questions. So I'll just go through those questions and we'll try to find out the values of various angles. Are we ready for that? Are we ready for that? Everyone ready to get some angles, right? Great. Here comes the table. I've just gone through the table and there are some notes, and these notes are like diamonds and pearls for you. Everything that I've uttered, everything that I've said, everything that I made you understand are there in the notes. Sine of 2 and pi plus theta. 2 and pi, that is odd multiples, even multiples. So whatever I have said is there in this. If you don't understand this, you can go through this. Else you can see the recording one more time. See the recording one more time. You should be able to do it. Don't worry. If not, I'll come back again. You have the Telegram group. You can ask me there. Okay. Okay, now let us see. Let us find the value of sine of 300. Don't look at the answer. Let us find the value of sine of 300. Let us find the value of sine of 300. Can you do that? Or shall I go back to my whiteboard? Value of sine of 300. Value of sine of 300. You have a question for us. Value of sine of 300. Value of sine of 300. Now there are different ways of getting this. We'll look at one or two ways and then we will move ahead. Value of sine of 300. I'm waiting for answers. Waiting for answers. Oh God, we already have 400 messages today. Great. We can reach the 500 mark. Great. It's a very good interactive class. I love it. We are making it more useful than our offline one. Great. Value of sine of 300 minus, beta, I need the answer. I need the answer. I need the answer. And the answer is minus root 3 by 2. Santosh, correct. Minus root 3 by 2. I need the answer, beta. I need the answer. This exercise is being done so that you also remember that 5 angle wala table. Sine of 0 is 0. Sine of 30 is half. Everything that I do has a purpose. Decimals, Vahini, I don't like decimals. I don't like decimals. Give me fractions. Give me fractions. I don't like decimals. Root 3 by 2 is very good. No decimals, beta. Decimals, I don't like decimals. Fractions are easier to operate. Fractions are easier to calculate. Minus root 3 by 2. Okay, Vahini, you got it? Minus root 3 by 2 is the answer. Minus root 3 by 2 answer. Now, let us see. How can we do this? Let's see how we can do this. Okay. Now there are different ways of doing it. Different ways of doing it. Let me write this as sine of 300. 300 I can write it as 360 minus 60. We agree on this. I can write it as 360 minus 60. No problems with that, right? No. 360 minus 60. 360 is an even multiple of pi, even multiple of 90. So sine remains sine. So it becomes sine of 60. Now look at which quadrant 360 minus 60, which is 300, it lies. Which quadrant is lie? 360 minus 60 or 300? It lies in the fourth quadrant. We agree on this? Yes. In fourth quadrant, it is negative. Sine is negative. So I put a negative sign. Sine of 60, you must know the value, root 3 by 2. Put a negative sign and we are done. That is one way of doing it, but that is not the only way of doing it. You can do this question in a variety of ways. I'll tell you one more. Don't worry. So that you are confident that, sir, if I don't do it by this way, I can do it by this way. Sine 300 can be written in a different way. It can be written as sine of 270 plus 30. Sine of 270 plus 30. I can also write it this way, don't worry. Right. Now it is sine of 270. Angle changes, ratio changes. Sine gets converted into cos. So I'll write it as cos of 30. Again, the same logic. In which quadrant it lies? It still lies in the fourth quadrant. Third, nahi beta, why nahi? It is in the fourth quadrant. Third is from 180 to 270. It is 300. It is in the fourth quadrant. So sine becomes negative. Minus cos of 30. You must remember what is cos of 30. Cos of 30 is root 3 by 2. And I put a minus sign and I get the value. Do we understand this, what I have achieved here? Great, great. One more question from here, and then probably we'll wind up this class. Cos of 120 degrees. Cos of 120 degrees. Cos of 120 degrees. Waiting for answers. Waiting for answers. Waiting for answers. We already closed 400 messages. Minus half, says Ajit. And Ajit, I must congratulate you. You are correct. This is equal to minus of half. Great, Viney. Good. Again, how you do it? There are various ways in which you can do it. I'll just tell you one among those ways. We can't waste more time in just doing it. So I'll write it as cos of 90 plus 30. Cos of 90 plus 30, odd multiple. So it becomes sine of 30. This lies in the second quadrant. This has to be negative. So negative. And hence we have the answer. Are you getting me? Everyone? Everyone got me on this? Pakka? Everybody understands this? Any doubts on this? Please ask. Please ask. Any doubts on this? Please ask. Okay, if you have no doubts on this, I'm sure you have the entire notes with you. In the notes, you will also find some more information which is not required in physics right now, and for NEET students, it is not required at all. So, if you want, you can skip it for now. If you want, you can skip it for now. I'll tell you what to skip it. So, we have done these questions. Try to solve these questions. I'm sure you can do this. There are some 5 or 6 questions given here. We have done 2 or 3 of these. So you can solve the rest of these as homework. Can you do that for me? You can solve this one, you can solve this one and this one. Can you do this? Number 1, 2, and 5. This is just for your practice. Good, Viney. I expect that you get it. Now we have some additional formulae for addition. If you can remember this, especially for MPC students, math students, you will be requiring this in trigonometry in your coming classes. If you can remember this, is great. It's not required for physics right now. Then there are double angle formulas. If you can remember them, very good. If not, it's okay. I don't require them. There's some additional information given. Then there are difference formulae. Again, not required right now. For maths, it's required. For NEET, bio, we don't require it. We can leave it. Again, transformation formulae for maths is required. For us, right now, no. For biology students, not at all. It's not required. So these are some formulae information given to you. I also shared a small file on that Telegram group, which had all the formulas in one place. That's only for math students. For physics, for bio students, you just need to know sine of 90, sine of 30, and all that simple things. Okay. Then we have this log. You understand the meaning of log? Logarithm. Now this logarithm will be useful to us in physics. Very short. Whatever is written here in short is useful for us in physics. but it will come at a later stage. But if you can just go through this, it will be important so that we can cover it in the next class. So that is your homework as well. You have to go to this section of logarithm. I am not in Telegram group, sir. Reddy, you please be added. Raghu sir, Kundan sir, please add Reddy to the Telegram group. Okay, I'll be sharing this entire thing. This log table must be there. If you can go through all these properties up till here, we can finish it fast in the next class. So we'll save some time in the next class. So that's the homework. Homework are those 3 questions in the notes. Ajit, you are also not in the group. Raghu sir, please add MV Reddy and MV Reddy and who was the next one? What you do is you just send a message to that K Venkanna sir classes wala ID, and they will add you there. Okay. Okay, so you just go through these notes, and we will be back. We'll be starting with log. In 5-10 minutes, we'll be covering this log. It's not much. And then we will move on to the part which is more interesting, which are graphs. So we'll move on to graphs and functions in the next class. I'll wind up the class here. If you have any doubts, the dais is open. You can come and you ask your doubt. The class from my side is over. Wish you a healthy day, and I hope you are doing well. Bye, beta everyone.